you guys just want to talk about Big Sky as a brewery, how long you guys have worked here, and just some other basic information about what you guys are doing here.
We started in June of 1995, one of the first craft breweries in the state. We used to be located down by McCormick Park. And then I came on in 96. So I was one of the first employees that wasn't a founder of the brewery. Have worn many hats over the years. In the year 2000, we decided, we started shipping beer to places outside of Montana, so eventually we were shipping beer to 23 states. And to have the trucks coming in and out there by McCormick Park and whatnot was a little bit difficult. And so this area where we are now by the airport started to get developed, and we bought a chunk of land and built this facility around 2000. And we've been here ever since, and it's great for shipping, being close to the interstate and all that sort of thing. And currently, we've done everything from being draft only at that time to putting in a bottling line and putting in a canning line. And we're on our second canning line. We don't bottle anymore. So currently we're draft and cans is what we do. And we still have that same distribution network. There's a lot more breweries now, so the competition is a lot tougher than it was back then. But we're still here. Moose Drool is our flagship brand, a brown ale. But we've got plenty of other things that people are into. We can go to that when we.
Yeah, what would you guys say your favorite beer that you make is? Whether it be like your flagships or something like cool or seasonal that you would do.
Mine's definitely Ivan the Terrible, our Imperial Stout.
Nice.
We barrel age it, so it's got a little bit of bourbon character. Yeah, definitely a sipping beer, but yeah, it's definitely my favorite.
I'll have to try that. What's your guys' favorite part about working at a brewery and a brewery in Montana that's this big?
I think just being being involved in the beer production, being able to help develop a recipe or make a beer that you think people will enjoy.
So you guys also have an amphitheater out here. How did that come to be?
I'm not really sure exactly. We had the space for it, and we did sponsor some concerts back in the day before we even had this. We had some things out at Karis Park and whatnot. So I think some of the owners here were interested in getting into that side of things. And then I can't say for sure, but I don't think we bought this for that space, but it might have been in mind to have that extra acreage back there. And we were able to team up with a promoter and to help us get the acts and that sort of thing.
Through Logjam or?
No, it's through Knitting Factory as the promoter.
Okay. All right, nice. What does Montana mean to you guys?
I've lived here a long time. I couldn't think of. I always like when I come back if I have to leave. But I appreciate the things we get to do here and the people here.
Nice to be close to everything outdoors.
Yeah. too.
Moose Drool, classic. How long has this one been around?
So that was the second beer we ever came up with. So it's been around since pretty much the beginning, 95 or so. It was a homebrew recipe of one of the founders. We've tweaked it a little bit over the years, but we don't like to mess with it too much because it's so popular. It's an English style brown ale. So you're going to have an emphasis on the malt character and the yeast. So the malt, you get the nice roasted kind of flavors. The yeast is going to give you a kind of a bready type of thing. We use a yeast. The yeast is one of the big contributors in the flavor of beer, but in this case, you really can taste it a little bit. Some beers you want that, some beers you don't. And then just enough hops to keep it from being too sweet. But you don't have a really hop-forward profile in this beer.
So
it's very sessionable, 5%. You know.
Kind of weedy, and it all works together. I like that. And then next we have two. This is the
IPA, traditional English style IPA, maybe with a little bit more hop forward than you would find in England. We started making this a long time ago before the IPAs kind of exploded into all kinds of different things. But this one lends toward the traditional side. You don't get as much malt. You get a little bit of malty presence, a little bit from the yeast, but the hops are what you're really tasting there. And then the featured hop in that beer is the Simcoe. And I don't know, what would you say is this kind of a characteristic Simcoe, like pine?
Yeah, pine, a little bit of citrus, maybe some light berry notes.
I see the citrus and piney the most. I like this one because I went through an IPA phase. I was trying all kinds of, you have like a double, triple IPA, whatever, but it's a nice, like, it's simple as far as IPAs go, I guess.
Yeah, it's as far as it's one of our best-selling brands, and probably amongst like the regulars that come into the tap room, it's one of the favorites as well.
And this next guy is
That's the Hucket.
the Hucket.
So beer, blonde ale that tastes like huckleberries and has a little bit of a pinkish hue to it as well. You're not going to get much off the malt, hops, or the yeast on that.
This
You're
is
just
good.
gonna taste it, smell huckleberry.
You can smell the huckleberries right away.
Predominant, yeah.
And that's
really good.
became secretly like, well, you don't know when you release something, you have an idea that people are going to like it. We'll do small batches of things in here, and then our marketing team will decide what to do with it or not. This brand is continuing to grow. We're making more and more of it every year, so it's kind of nice.
That was really good. And we have Ivan. Terrible.
Big one.
You said it was barrel aged.
Yep. So it's an imperial stout, very roasty, chocolatey, and then we age it in bourbon barrels. You get some of the booziness from the barrels, but mostly you get kind of some oaky vanilla sweet notes from it.
It's chocolatey.
Got a pretty heavy chocolate.
It's got everything but the kitchen sink in the malt category. There's roast malt, there's brown malt that provides kind of like a bitterness. The sharp kind of roasted flavors, and chocolate malt and black malt, flaked oats. And for head retention. Again, not very hot forward, and then what Todd was saying from the cask, you do get a little bourbon flavor, but you're also going to get some coconut and vanilla and things like that from the wood.
That one actually is very bitter, but all of the sweetness and roastiness balance it out, so it doesn't.
It goes really bitter. It tastes like boozy and sweet. It's really good.
Is this the new one that's on tonight?
I think it's still last year's.
But it's strong, upwards of 12% or so you can feel it. It's a sipping beer.
You get like 2 of these and you have a nice buzz.
Yeah.
Maybe just one.
Just one. Comes in a 19.2 ounce can if you buy it outside of here.
It's all
It's a lot of Ivan. It's a good one to share with someone.
It's a really good one.
We don't make beer that we don't personally like to drink. So
Of course.
we hope everything is, we've got something for
All these are good. This one, it might be my favorite just because of like how different it is. I've never had like a barrel aged beer.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool experience. So, yes. Thank you guys so much. It's been fun.
No problem.
I really don't.